Okay, class, so today we're going to be starting our section on the difference between a utopia and a dystopia, okay? But before we dive into that, I wanted to go over today's objectives. And so, excuse me, if you look at today's notes in your syllabus, you'll see that these are all listed there. So first we're going to learn the difference between a utopia and a dystopia. And then today our goal is to create an outline for both of those things. We're going to have one outline for utopias and one outline for dystopias. And then here it says we're going to create your own manifesto. We're actually not going to do that today. That is an error that was in your syllabus. So we're actually going to be creating a 5-paragraph essay today. And in that essay, you're going to be explaining the differences between a utopia and dystopia. But we're going to go over that in more detail later. So first, has anyone heard of the word utopia and dystopia before? Okay, a couple of you. And does any of you know what utopia or dystopia means? Okay, so yes. Yeah, that is correct. A utopia is like a perfect society or heaven on earth. Okay? And anybody know what a dystopia is? So basically the opposite, like hell on earth. Okay, yeah. So a utopia is an imagined place or state of things in which everything is perfect. So that would be you have a perfect environment, like physical earthly environment, like gardens are lush, there's no world hunger, that type of thing. And you have a perfect form of government. So your government is really working for the people, like there's good health care and like no taxes, no one's ever sick or hungry or poor, that type of thing. Excuse me. And so dystopia would be an imagined place or state in which everything is unpleasant or bad. So typically you would have like a militaristic government in a dystopia, and the environment, the world would be in flames. And now both of these descriptions do say imagined, but some people believe that these can be realized. Okay, so they believe that these places can actually exist. And so based on these definitions, I want you guys to think just on what we've talked about so far in class. I want you to think about a place both fictional and non-fictional. So that could be something like governments or societies that exist in our world today, or maybe in the past historically, that would fit either of these descriptions. And I want you to also think about things in literature, like, for example, the Hunger Game novels or The Giver, these type of things. So I want you to think about that in your mind and jot a couple of those down for a frame of reference, right? Is that a utopia or is that a dystopia? And what do you think? And then by the end of class, I want you to reevaluate and think in your way of thinking about these societies and see if you were correct. Okay, so first what we're going to do is, everyone when you came in, you should have had an article on your desk. And this is just printed from the internet. And the link is also at the top of the page. And we're going to go through and we're going to read this article together as a class. So what I want you guys to do is we're going to do our line style of reading, which is where you remember how to do that. One person reads a section and then the next reads a section and the next. So we're going to do that. And also, based on some of your past papers, I've noticed that we need to work on some of our grammar. So in this article, I went in and I purposely misspelled some of the words, especially the different theirs. So we have T-H-E-R-E, T-H-E-I-R, and T-H-E-Y apostrophe R-E. Some of you are getting confused on which ones to use, and so I've purposely put the wrong ones in the wrong places in this article, and I want you guys to notice that. As long as with things with like proper names and titles of books and movies, whether they should be capitalized or underlined. So I want you guys to really look out for that as we're reading, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and start that reading now. All right, good job. So as you were reading, you guys were underlining and circling the grammar that was incorrect and wrong. And so I want you guys to go ahead and get into your groups and talk with your partners and compare if you guys got the same words right or wrong. And we'll go over at the end of class and see who's right. Okay. Okay, perfect. So next what we're going to do is we're going to watch a video, and this is from TED Talks, and remember we've watched TED Talks in the past. So this one's going to go over a dystopian society. So it's going to be 5 minutes long, and while we're watching this video, I want you guys to take notes on what are some factors that make up a utopia and what are some factors that make up a dystopia. So as we're going through, I want you to add to your notes that you had from the reading, because at the end, we're actually going to make an outline, one for a utopia and one for a dystopia. And so this will be actually a different outline than one that you would write for an essay, because we're not doing an essay outline. I just want you to kind of formulate your notes so that when you write your 5-paragraph essay, it's easier. And so for this one, you want to have your topic, which let's just say we're writing about a utopia. So that would be your topic. So remember, for the first one, you want to write your introduction, and that would basically be, what is the definition of a utopia? And then as the body here, as your points, what is your first fact / idea about a utopia? So for example, one of those would be like perfect environment. And then you would write the evidence here for what a perfect environment looks like. Then you would have a second fact until you have all your facts, and then the conclusion. Basically just write a sentence that kind of sums up what a utopia is again. And then you're going to do another one for dystopia. And then by the end of class, like I said, we'll do our 5-paragraph essay. So just to keep that in mind, we're going to go ahead and watch that TED Talk now. And then we'll work on writing our outlines. Okay? All right. Perfect.